Welcome to Voice Bootcamp, a global name in Cisco and AWS cloud training. Hi, my name is Faisal Khan, CEO and founder of Voice Bootcamp. In this video, I'm going to show you what is Amazon EC2 is and one of the core fundamental services from Amazon. Now, EC2 happens to be the most important service that Amazon has offered. It is basically a virtual machine on a rental basis. It allows you to rent a server, whether it is a Linux server, Unix server, or Windows. It allows you to rent it without having to worry about maintaining, updating, licensing, and whatnot. When you rent these services from Amazon, Amazon takes care of the installation, takes care of the upgrades, takes care of the licensing, everything that a typical IT department would maintain. This is one of the reasons why Amazon AWS services or even any cloud services become so popular. Now, it mainly consists of ability to rent a virtual machine on demand, ability to store data on a virtual drive such as EBS, and we'll talk about EBS in momentarily. We will also talk about load balancer. The load balancer happens to be, for example, a distributor. Now, this distribution will occur based on the type of services that you have to offer. Now, for example, if I have a bunch of web servers and I would like to distribute traffic to them, I could be using the load balancer to do that. Now, again, I will show you an example in the future about how to distribute this traffic as we go along. Now, one of the most important function and one of my favorite functions is called auto scaling. So auto scaling group is one of the very important topics that you need to master because a lot of services can benefit using the auto scaling group. ASG is one of the phenomenal features that I personally love it. Now I will show you an example where auto scaling group helps me. Now Voice Bootcamp is a small company, and back in the days we've been using GoDaddy as our web hosting company for the longest period of time. So we did rented a virtual machine from them. And it was only one server. If that virtual machine went down, pretty much I had the alarm set up. I had to get up, check to log in. If I'm not in my office, I'll be logging in from home. I'll have to investigate what is going on and then fix the problem, then all these things cause downtime. With AWS auto scaling, now after I move my business to AWS, what I have done is that if my primary server goes down or if the load of the server increases a certain amount, Amazon will automatically create a replica of that and have it available with a matter of 2 minutes or 3 minutes, depending on, of course, other factors. But this is an advantage for me because now by the time I actually get an alert, get up, put some clothes on or whatever, or come to my office, guess what? My server should be up and running. So that is the beauty about auto scaling group. So make sure you put that into your top priority to maximize everything you can learn about auto scaling group. Now, as I said, EC2 is the core fundamental of Amazon AWS, and it is the most important topic that you need to understand. You can forget about anything else, but EC2 has to be the fundamental. So good knowledge about that will help you towards passing the exam. As of January 20, today is January 20, 2020, and last week we had about 10 people who recently passed the AWS CSOP admin. All of the 100% passed, and they all say the one thing: a lot of questions related to EC2. Okay, now let's go and see a lab on how easy it is to launch a virtual machine in Singapore without having to fly there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and log into my account, if I can find it. Okay. Oh, that was not it. So right now I am in my account, and as you can see, I am in Singapore. I can change my location from East Coast to Singapore data center without even to fly there. I mean, I'm saving 18 hours of flight, brutality of those long haul flights. All I have to do is click on the region and go to Singapore. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm right now in a Singapore database. I'm going to create a virtual machine with a Linux operating system and have a web server installed. So as you can see on the services, compute, you see EC2, Elastic Computing 2. You're going to click on that, and what you're going to do is going to create a launch virtual machine. Okay, so I'm going to click on launch instance. Okay, so like any servers, when you build the servers or computers, one of the first things that you need to do is install an operating system if it does not already have one. Well, these are, like a virtual machine, we're renting it, so we need to define what operating system we want. Well, we are going to select right now Amazon's own operating system called Linux 2, AMI. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image, which is basically an operating system. Select, and what you're going to do, you're going to define an instance type. Very important, but a topic that we will discuss a little bit later. Right now, we're going to use a free tier version that is available called T2 Micro, because T2 Micro comes free with your account for up to 1 year. Make sure you get to use that, because otherwise you're going to end up charging more money if you're not careful about that. So click next, and here it says how many instances we want. Right now, keep it simple. We're not going to worry about too details about them. We're going to click on add storage, and this is where you specify the hard drive. You can choose 8 gig or you can choose 16 terabyte, totally up to you. I'm going to choose 10 gig, not 80 gig. Up to 30 gig is free. Add tag. Now tags are my favorite. I love tags. I love to assign tags whenever possible. Tag is like assigning a label. Usually you can assign a label called this is a web server. I know, like a little label that you put on your front of your outside of your box chassis. Or I can say that environment, lab, or production, or demo, whichever environment you want. And I'm going to click on security configuration. Now this is the next important topic. I don't want to talk about that right now because I have a dedicated chapter for that for you. So what I want to do is that right now I'm going to enable two things. HTTPS, it's like a firewall, right? Like you have a PC, you have a firewall, sometimes like a Windows Defender. Well, that's something similar to that. I can control what traffic is allowed and what traffic is inbound and what traffic is allowed outbound. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to add a rule to allow web traffic to come in. So I'm going to say HTTP. So right now I'm selecting an HTTP. I'm saying if the traffic should be allowed from worldwide, anywhere. If I do not want IPv6, no problem. I will only select IP version 4. I can put a little description, allow all inbound HTTP traffic. That's for inbound. And I will call this something like my security group. Okay, firewall port for server. Yeah, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. All right, launch. Now I am, ready to launch. Just give me one step. Say, hey, are you ready to do this? Can you check and make sure everything is correct? Gives you a little bit of warning that your security group is not really secure. We'll talk about that later. And you can click launch. Now, as soon as you launch, what it's going to do is going to ask you to create a key. Now, this is very important. Amazon does not let you access the server without this public key initially. Of course, you can bypass that later. And in advanced, one of our videos from our self-study kit, you will learn how to bypass that. For now, what we're going to do, we're going to say, no, I'm going to create a new key. Let's call this solution architect key. And you can call it anything you want. You can call it climate change, forget the matter. So I'm going to click on download the key, and it's going to ask me to save the key local. Let's save it, because you will need this key. If you lose it, you're going to be in trouble. There are some processes that you have to go through to gain access, so don't lose it. Okay, launch the instance. We're ready to build the servers. As you can see, servers are coming up. All I have to do is click on view instance. Let's go ahead, and you will see your server is right there. All right, so what's happening right now is that I got a server, is being installed, is being configured, it's going to tell me when is ready. But in the meantime, Amazon has already provisioned a few things for me. It has provisioned an IP address, both public IP address and private IP address. And as you can see, this is my public IP address right there. In order to access the site, Amazon also gave me a host name, DNS name. which is right there. Okay, I can easily map that name to my existing domain. I can map that IP address to my existing domain. However, that IP address that's given to you is a temporary. That means if you restart the service or stop the services, chances are that that IP address may not be assigned back to you. So that brings us to one of our next topic called Elastic IP, which I will talk about that later. So right now what you have is a server that is being built as we speak with certain operating system. Again, no software installed, nothing is installed. So while this is happening, you could literally go through all the settings that have been given to you by Amazon, and you can change that if you need to. Okay, like I said, we're not going to do that right now, but those are something that easily done. As you can see, right, how easy it is to build an Amazon EC computer server without even placing an order on eBay or HP or IBM, and wait for 2 weeks, 3 weeks of shipping, then the custom handling, shipping problem, all sorts of problems are easily avoided by simply a couple of clicks. Okay, so that is what EC2 is all about. Now we saw the lab. I'm going to show you how we SSH to this server, because in order to SSH you need that key, and you also need to make sure the port is open on your security group. All right, so let's go back to our screen and see what the status of the server. Now this is important. As you notice right here, is that instance state is running, system check 2 by 2. That means your server is ready. So now let's connect. See this little button right there, connect? Or you can literally use something like this. Let me open my secure CRT. I could use this program called Secure CRT to log into my server. And in order for me to do that, I will go to File, Connect. Oops, not this one. Let me first get the IP address. Copy the IP address. I'm going to go to File, Quick Connect, and I'm going to paste that IP address. But remember what I said, you cannot access a server without the security key. Initially, you can always bypass that. So I'm going to disable the password, and I'm going to put the public key, or I can select the password, but I must select the public key. I will go to Properties, and I must specify that file name, which I believe is right here. I have to find out which folder it is. Okay, so I copy that on the slide folder on X drive. Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's go back. It's going to ask you where is that file. I'm going to say use this session. I don't want to override my global. I will go to my X drive, and I will go to slide, and this is the file right there, Solution Architect. Open. I am ready. And now I need to define a username. Now I will come back to the EC user. There's a default user called EC2 user, and click connect. You're going to have to accept, and voila, you are in. So first thing that you usually do when you log in, we change the password. So what we do is a sudo passwd is going to ask you to change the root password. I'm going to change the root password to what we usually use. And now I am ready to install a web server. So first thing we need to do is say yum sudo yum y install httpd. Now here's the thing. Don't worry about if you don't understand this command right now. Okay, on our website, under user portal, you will have access to what we call a Linux cheat sheet, which is a predefined commands that we have kind of gathered for our students. Or you can Google it, and the more you do, the better you're going to get at it. Simple as that. So let's go and enable it, and you'll see the web server is coming up. I'm going to enable it, and I'm going to start the service. I'm going to say system ctl enable httpd. Okay. Oh, sudo. I must type the word sudo because I am not connected as, I gotta be as a root. Then I'm going to sudo systemctl start httpd. So my web server is up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this into the web browser. And I got a test space. Okay, this is what the EC2 service is all about. Okay, now you can customize this image. You can add more commands. There's a lot of things you'll learn how to do in the next few slides. But this is the overview about how we create the EC2 in Amazon. Hopefully, you guys got an understanding about how to start a basic EC2 computer or servers for your company. Keep in mind, this is the most fundamental and most important topic. Make sure you do this as many times you want. Watch our videos on our lab guide. There are tons of videos, labs that we do on EC2 because we know this is the more important core topic for you to master. Well, thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next video.